My name is Elizabeth Long. I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer with Long Manguji LLP. We've been getting a lot of inquiries about what to do about this NRST. This is a tax that if you're not a Canadian citizen or permanent resident and you want to purchase some property around the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, you have to pay a big tax on it. So what I wanted to do today is to invite my friend Francis Fong, who is a really good real estate lawyer from Lex Transact Law, and he practices real estate law in Ontario, and he's here to tell us all about it. Thank you so much for coming, Francis.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's get into it. All right, so where did this law even come from, Francis?
So the non-resident speculation tax is a tax that was implemented by the provincial government in mid-2017, back when the real estate market was really hot, and there's discussion about foreign speculation. And it started out in British Columbia, but the Ontario government don't follow suit, and it's a tax payable on purchase of real estate in Ontario.
Okay, well, okay, so tell us about the basics. What do we need to know about this?
So this tax is only applicable to anyone who's not a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, or a not an exempt individual as set out by the legislation. The tax itself is 15% on the purchase price of the real estate, which, say, for $1 million home could be very substantial, as you can imagine.
Right.
It's only applicable to residential property, not commercial property, within the Golden Horseshoe area, which we've highlighted on the map of the site. As you can see here, the highlighted area is the Golden Horseshoe area, and it's only applicable to purchases within the zone. If you're outside the zone, you don't have to pay it.
So this is like the golden, this is like one of the most highest property values in Ontario, really. And certainly it's one of the most desirable areas.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, so well, let's talk about who doesn't have to pay this tax. First of all, if you are a citizen, you don't have to pay. If you're also a permanent resident. Now, if you're a permanent resident, though, you have to maintain your status. If you lose your status later on, that could have an issue with regard to your exemption. Also, if you have been nominated under what's called the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, this is the provincial nominee program for Ontario. And if you have received a nomination certificate and you're about to apply for your PR, or you're just waiting for your PR to be issued by the federal government, you can also qualify. If you're a protected person, so if your refugee claim has been heard and determined positively, and you are a refugee, then in Ontario and you're living here, you are exempt as well. And finally, if you are a spouse of any of the people above, then, and you jointly buy a property with your spouse, then this, you can be exempt. So, Francis, what happens if you're not a spouse? If you're not a spouse, let's say I buy a property with a business partner, and we have a 50-50 split. Is the tax 15% on my 50% of the property, or is it on the entire?
It's on the entire amount. There's no loophole.
There's no, so essentially, even if I only own part of the property, my business partner loses.
That's
because
right.
The entire property.
That's right. Yes.
Wow. Okay. So if you think that you might want to become one of these NRST exempt individuals, feel free to contact us. I think this is a pretty significant tax. There's also a way to get your money back if you fall under one of the rebate categories. So what happens is, first, you have to pay the tax if you didn't fall under one of the categories before. But if you are one of these people under the categories that I'm going to talk about, you can apply to get your money back. So first of all, if you are going to be a permanent resident within 4 years of buying that property, you can apply for your rebate back. If you are a full-time student, a full-time, not a part-time, full-time student who you have attended a college or university in Ontario for 2 years, you can apply for your rebate back as long as you've done so within 4 years of purchasing your property. And if you're an international worker with a valid work permit and you've worked legally in Ontario for 1 year, within 4 years of buying your property, you can apply for your rebate back. You have to apply for your rebate back within 4 years of buying your property. So if you think that you might fall under this category, you want to fall under this category, contact me and contact Francis and see if you do. All right, Francis, last thing, tell us some strategies that you would recommend about how to not fall under this NRST.
Okay, so as the tax really depend a lot on your immigration status, changing your immigration status, say to citizen or permanent resident, can be a way of avoiding the tax. So certainly speak to your immigration lawyer about that. Now, I'll be very careful with respect to some sort of jointly holding company type of situation, as mentioned earlier. Again, it's usually not a way to get around this tax. Be very careful. Speak to your lawyer about it. Now, if you're looking to buy real estate outside of the Golden Horseshoe, the tax would not be applicable, as shown earlier. And if you're just looking to invest, may not be a residential property, right? If you're looking to buy a commercial property, the tax will not be applicable. So maybe that's something to consider as well. But again, in all cases, it really depends on your individual situation. So we certainly recommend you talk to your lawyer about it before taking any action.
And certainly, talk to someone who knows about this tax and is advising you on this tax. Thank you so much, Francis, for coming. Your expertise is really valuable. If you guys have any further questions, here's our information. Feel free to come and talk to us, and hopefully we'll help you save some money there. Okay, take care, guys. See you next time. Bye.